We're here at the Illuminite booth with Mike, and they have a vast majority of products that we're going to talk about and bring to you for Woodcraft. Mike, take it away.
All right, so Illuminite manufactures mold making and casting materials that are used for a wide variety of applications. Our urethanes, which are going to be down here, we'll slide down a little bit, where we can actually cast blanks with, you can do them with all resin, you can combine them with wood and resin, and then you can turn those into phenomenal works of art, whether it's containers, whether it's bowls, urns, duck calls. It's just used for casting blanks.
Now this piece here, you don't sell these. People can make their own.
You can make your own silicone rubber mold. Other people will just simply use, you could use like a cardboard tube from a paper towel, or from toilet paper or something like that, and glue that down and pour the resin in there, let it harden, and then you just turn that off. So really you're looking for anything to contain the material until it cures. And then like these silicone molds, or we even have a UHMW mold over there. There's actually some people will actually make a UHMW mold that you can actually cast your blanks into. And that's how this guy was poured. So you can pour blanks of all different sizes depending on the mold box that you come up with.
Pressure pot versus no pressure pot. You have two examples here. One of them has been used by a pressure pot. And this one has not. I can hardly tell which one. There might be a couple of bubbles in this, but they're almost identical, which is very cool.
So when you're just casting resin blanks, you're not putting wood, you're not putting any casting media in it. There's really not a reason to pressure cast it because, like Frank said, you can get exceptionally well formed or cast materials with no air bubbles in them that are not going to affect your blanks when you turn them. Even just scrap blocks of wood that are swept off the floor can be used to turn absolutely beautiful works of art. So the biggest thing with urethanes is moisture, and you need to make sure whatever you put into the resin is dry and has no moisture into it. Otherwise the moisture will actually create air bubbles.
It's perfect for our ice cream scoop products online, right?
Now if you're going to start doing something like with pine cones,
you'd want to pressure pot that because you've got so many gaps on those things.
There's so many gaps and so many things that the material's not going to flow in there, and you're never going to get every ounce of air out of it, so then when you would turn, you would have bigger voids. So the concept is you would take your mold, you'd pour your resin with your pine cones or whatever in there, you'd set it into a pressure pot, and you'd turn it on to approximately 30 to 45 pounds of pressure, PSI. And what that does is it crushes the air bubbles so small that the human eye will not see them, and it holds them in that crushed state until the resin cures. Once the resin cures, now they can't come back, and you would get an absolutely beautiful, cast blank that has your pine cone or your wood or whatever it is, even like large chunks of wood like this. So the resin is clear in nature. I mean, it's absolutely water clear. And then with the use of dyes and powders and combinations of the two, you can create pretty much anything that you want to do as far as turning applications, even with combinations of wood and other media that you put in to make and create pretty much anything that you want.